Now we will have a presentation by Marina Kotova from the Russian Federation about the paremiological polysemy in East Slavonic proverbs. I give the floor to Marina.
Thank you for giving me the floor, and my warm greetings from rainy St. Petersburg in Russia, and thank you for the organizing committee for this possibility to participate in the interdisciplinary colloquium on proverbs in Tavira. So my presentation is devoted to the theoretical problem of paremiology, the paremiological polysemy in the electronic dictionary of current active East Slavonic proverbs. This dictionary is a part of the project funded by one of the funding points in Moscow. So now we are going to it. This paper is involved into two topics, the topic of education by means of proverbs and the topic of the construction of a common European heritage of proverbs. The aim of this paper is to consider the forms of the paremiological polysemy in the electronic Russian-Belorussian-Ukrainian dictionary of proverbs, which is now created within the framework of the project Electronic Dictionary of Current Active East Slavonic Proverbs, funded by the Russian Foundation for Basic Research. Following the Russian paremiologist Permyakov, the paremiological polysemy is determined here as a special semantic feature of the paremiological system of one language, along with the paremiological synonymy and antonymy. Paremiological polysemy is considered as an embodiment of the paremiological thematic multiplicity. Using the system structural paremiographic approach, the author reveals the specifics of the definitions of the Russian current polysemantic proverbs and their active Belarusian and Ukrainian proverbial parallels. Special attention is paid to paremiological semantic duality as a kind of the thematic multiplicity. So, paremiological polysemy is considered here as an embodiment, so I am repeating the same. We understand the thematic multiplicity as an ability of some proverbs to be included into several thematic groups simultaneously. The involvement of the proverb into the thematic group is realized by the semantic updating of this or that paremiological component, but the proverb keeps its status as a logical semiotic sign or token of a situation. A special type of the paremiological thematic multiplicity is semantic duality. The problems of semantic duality at the lexical and phraseological levels of the language were studied in the works of Vinogradov, Larin, Mokienko, and others. Here we will make an attempt to describe in short the nature of the paremiological thematic multiplicity in general and the paremiological semantic duality as a special kind of the paremiological thematic multiplicity. In the first main part of our electronic dictionary of East Slavonic proverbs, the authors of the dictionary are Natalia Boeva, Victoria Mushchinskaya, Olesya Sergeyenko, and Marina Kotova. In the entry immediately after the heading, that is Russian proverb, after the mark arrow, the numbers of thematic chapters, themes from the thematic index are given, in which this proverb is included. The second part of the electronic dictionary contains that thematic index of Russian proverbs, consisting of 12 thematic chapters with subgroups. Let us consider the following characteristics of the paremiographic definitions of proverbs with paremiological polysemy, that is, thematic multiplicity. Firstly, synthetic generalized definitions as the natural combinations of the keywords of different themes reflect thematic multiplicity of some proverbs. For example, the Russian proverb «Семеро одного не ждут», that is literally translated as 7 people do not wait for one person. Let's compare with the English proverbial parallel for one that is missing, there is no spoiling a wedding. It belongs to the 6th theme, time, patience, delay, and to the 8th theme, the relationship between people, the isolation of the individual from society. In the dictionary, there will be the Belarusian proverbial parallel with the contextual illustrations and the Ukrainian proverbial parallel with the contextual illustrations. Proverbs of this kind are used as the tokens of the same situations, but these situations can realize on different places and can be interpreted from the various thematic viewpoints. These proverbs belong to the paremiological polysemy, which is represented by the pure semantic multiplicity. Semantic multiplicity is an embodiment of paremiological polysemy. The second point, proverbial definitions in the entry are divided into two or more items according to the number of meanings of the described proverb. Each meaning is a token of a special situation which belongs to its separate theme. Proverbs of this kind represent paremiological polysemy as a special type of the thematic multiplicity, a semantic duality. Let us see the characteristics of the semantic duality of proverbs in the next part of this paper. The entry in the Russian-Belorussian-Ukrainian Dictionary of Proverbs. Here we will consider the paremiographic description of the semantic duality of Russian proverbs as one of the representations of paremiological polysemy in the electronic dictionary of current active East Slavonic proverbs, the principles of which have already been partially outlined in our previous research. The internal form of a proverb can have either a figurative plan of expression, that is, proverbs with imagery, or a direct plan, proverbs without imagery, or it can have semantic duality to combine figurative and direct plans of expression. These three types of semantic content of the proverb are fully described in the electronic dictionary of East Slavonic proverbs currently being developed, that includes 500 active Russian proverbs with Belarusian and Ukrainian parallels, which provides a structured definition of the proverb in combination with other paremiographic means. The entry of our electronic dictionary is constructed mainly in accordance with the lexicographic traditions perceived by paremiographers. It consists of the following parts: a heading, a Russian proverb, a reference to the thematic chapter or thematic groups, where it is included by means of a new paremiographic mark and arrow, and indication of the emotional and expressive stylistic coloring, that is optional information, a paremiographic definition indicating one or more semantic meanings of the proverb, a contextual illustration of usage. The entry then provides Belarusian and Ukrainian paremiological parallels with contextual illustrations. Sociolinguistic paremiological experiments conducted by the authors of the dictionary among native speakers of Belarusian and Ukrainian languages revealed the degree of use of modern Belarusian and Ukrainian proverbs, or the lack of use of proverbs recorded in textbook encyclopedic proverb collections. Lacunarity in the Belarusian or Ukrainian paremiological systems is reflected in our dictionary in the form of a literal translation of Russian proverbs into Belarusian and Ukrainian. Polysemous Russian proverbs, as a rule, receive two definitions in our dictionary: the interpretation of the direct meaning and the interpretation of the figurative meaning, in which the semantic duality is clearly felt. For example, the Russian proverb «У семи нянек дитя безглазого», literally translated as 7 nannies do not look after the child well, compare with the English proverbial parallel too many cooks spoil the broth, belongs to the fourth theme house, family, children, parents, raising children, upbringing, and to the eighth theme, the relationship between people. The first meaning of this Russian proverb is the following: about a family where everyone cares for the child who is left unattended as a result, with contextual illustration to it. The second meaning: When several people are responsible for the same work, it is finally not completed, with a contextual illustration to the second meaning as well. And then there are Belarusian and Ukrainian proverbial parallels with the proper contextual illustrations for them. Here are some more examples of Russian proverbs with two meanings from our dictionary. Such proverbs are about 9% of the total number in the dictionary. A в семье не без урода, literally, every family has a freak. Compare with English proverbial parallel, there is a black sheep in every flock. And кашу маслом не испортишь, literally, you can't spoil porridge with butter. Compare with English paremiological parallels, plenty is no plague, and many others. Semantic duality is a special kind of the thematic multiplicity. Analysis of the types of relationships within the semantic structure of a Russian proverb allows us to distinguish the following types of the semantic duality. A. Direct meaning and semantic duality. For example, Бог дал, Бог и взял, literally, God gave and God took away, belongs to the fourth theme, house, family, upbringing, and to the 12th theme, fate, good. The first meaning of the proverb is, on birth and death, man is born and dies by the will of God. The second meaning, what comes independently of a person goes without his will, with a contextual illustration for this proverb. And Belarusian proverbial parallel, Бог дал, Бог взял, and Ukrainian proverbial parallel with the proper contextual illustrations. B. Duality of the connotative evaluation. For example, the Russian proverb обещанного 3 года ждут, literally, for something promised, we are waiting for 3 years. Compare with the English proverbial parallel, a promise costs nothing, belongs to the first theme, coping, work, occupation, learning, rest, laziness, ignorance, and to the 8th theme, the relationship between people. The first meaning is consolation to those who hope for the fulfillment of someone's promise. The second meaning, pronounced mockingly, says the one who deceived a naive and trusting person by promising him something. Then we have a contextual illustration for this Russian proverb, and then Belarusian proverbial parallel with the absolutely different imagery, and Ukrainian proverbial parallel with the imagery identical to Belarusian but absolutely different to the Russian imagery, with contextual illustrations. C. The different recipients of communication. For example, a Russian proverb «глаза бы мои не глядели», literally translated as «if my eyes had not looked», belongs to the fourth theme, house, family, upbringing, and to the 7th theme, love, friendship, friendship aversion. The first meaning of the proverb is an expression of dislike for a person who persistently seeks someone's favor or love. The second meaning, about a child who upsets his parents with his disobedience. Then we have the contextual illustration for it, and Belarusian and Ukrainian proverbial parallels with the same imagery and contextual illustrations. D. From generalization to specification. For example, the Russian proverb «не безрыбье и рак рыба», literally, when there are no fish and cancer might be a fish. Compare with the English paremiological parallel, in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Belongs to the 9th theme, conflict, compromise, and to the 7th theme, love, friendship, lack of choice. The first meaning is, if there is no choice, any option is suitable. The second meaning, where there are no other applications, they agree to the applicant who offers himself. Then we have the contextual illustration from the Russian internet for that proverb, and Belarusian proverbial parallel with the same imagery with contextual illustration, and the Belarusian proverbial parallel with a different imagery and contextual illustration. The same situation is in the Ukrainian language, one parallel with the same imagery, one parallel with the different imagery. In the first three mentioned above specified types of the paremiographic description of the polysemantic Russian proverbs A, B, and C, the Belarusian and Ukrainian paremiological parallels have the same semantic duality as the Russian proverb has. In the last item, D, from generalization to specification, there is the Russian proverb with the semantic duality, with the corresponding Belarusian and Ukrainian proverbs with the same semantic duality. Except those paremiological parallels, there are another proverbial parallels with the specification of the meaning. Belarusian na bezludzi мы люди, literally, when there are no people, then we are people, and Ukrainian na bezludzi homo человек, literally translated as when there are no people, then homo is a person. Conclusion. The entries from the developed electronic dictionary of current active East Slavonic proverbs demonstrate the need for careful structuring of the definition of the Russian proverb as the heading with semantic duality. The electronic dictionary uses the principles and materials of the previously published Russian Slavonic dictionary of proverbs. I may show you to you. That is rather old. You see, I use it every day. So this Russian Slavonic dictionary of proverbs, which are refined and expanded in the process of creating dictionary entries. Nuances of the semantic structure of the Russian proverb in some cases coincide with the semantic structure of Belarusian and Ukrainian proverbial parallels, and sometimes they are additionally specified in the form of proverbs with a different imagery. And the second item of our conclusions, paremiological polysemy, that is thematic multiplicity, is represented in 29.6% of Russian proverbs in our dictionary, including semantic duality in 8.8% of Russian proverbs. It means that almost 1/3 of the active Russian proverbs in our dictionary are polysemantic. There are the references, and thank you, obrigada. That's all.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you for your very interesting presentation.